Hey everyone, welcome to the very first episode of the Awakening Compass powered by the Awakening Training Academy. Here with us today is a very special individual, a special guest, an author, a founder, an acclaimed speaker, a professional trainer, all the way from Bahrain, the one and only Mohamed Shukri. Sir, how are you?
I'm really feeling really great. I'm counting the days in Sri Lanka and they are moving very fast because when you're in somewhere beautiful and with beautiful people, time just passes by. But thank you for having me in Awakening Compass. Thank you so much.
It's our pleasure, sir, hosting you here in this beautiful country. I know for a matter of fact, Sri Lanka is not the first time for you, but this time was very special. Why? Because of the flagship event at Awakening Training Academy, Pathways to Success. What have you got to tell for the community and society?
Yes, and Shaf, I'm super happy to be here. I am the Pathways to Success was the reason I was invited to Sri Lanka. Actually, I need any reason to visit Sri Lanka, But Pathways to Success had a specific, impact on me. I do speak to students in colleges, groups, institutions, but this audience was unique in a way that it was not from a single institution. Awakening Training Academy, pulled off an event where I saw a variety of students from all over Sri Lanka coming, and they are not just graduates, graduates and some of them new recruits, interns, you name it, all right? So, and in that audience, I was having the challenge of speaking to all different aspirations and that, but with proper management, proper preparation, proper screening and analysis we did before that. I really cannot thank Pathways to Success and Awakening Training enough for making this a huge success in itself. Me and my colleagues who shared the stage, we saw the transformation happening right there in the room. So thank you very much for that opportunity. Yeah,
it's our pleasure. It's our greatest pleasure. I mean, the keynote speech that you gave for all of us, it really moved us. It really took us to feel life in a different direction. It was so powerful, so energetic, and so insightful. Thank you so much for you as well.
Thank you so much. And actually, as I said, you are the one and only. Everyone in the room believed that each one of us is the one and only. And it's not only me or you or any celebrity. It's not about being there under the limelight, but actually it's where you are the one and only. It's just you need to take this forward.
Absolutely. See, I now want to dive deep into the core of what leadership is. Leadership is a topic that really binds very close to my heart and to all our audience, right? See, Shukri, you've been training speakers, training leaders who run multinational organizations, right? What does leadership really mean to you?
So let's give a little background about leadership. Leadership is a terminology in the newest package that we know is not very old. Leadership as a concept is actually ancient, of course, and it started with the humans, but it came with the sociology back in the last century, and it is packaged in a very organized way, and it speaks to the evolution of humans in the manufacturing and post-manufacturing and now in the knowledge era. So we are in need of leadership like never before. But really, leadership starts with, unlike what many people think, how to lead people. The question you need to answer is how to lead yourself first. If you know who you are, your value, your impact in the industry that you want to serve, the market that you lead people in, then you will be more successful. So leading yourself is starting with believing in yourself, having faith in what you can offer, and knowing exactly the parameters and the boundaries where you can serve most and the boundaries where behind you cannot serve people as that much. So know where you master, where you are at your best, then This is your self-leadership. After that, you can go beyond. And that's why you are the one and only, brings you immediately to that focal point where you can serve the community best.
Absolutely. I can't agree with you better because, see, every single one of us is very unique in our very own ways, right? Absolutely. Rightly told. And it is our duty to identify our talents and skills and drive ourselves towards it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Rightly said. Super. Now, I want to dig something very deep from what you told. There are two kinds of people, two kinds of leaders. Leaders who are born with those attributes of becoming a leader, and leaders who mold themselves into becoming a leader. How do you differentiate themselves?
Well, this is, an eternal, long-lived argument, and that the question which says, are leaders born or made? One of my mentors, who's also the author of the Leadership Challenge, always says that, well, every leader and eventually is born. I mean, made or born, they are born. We are born, all right? So no one is not born, right? But really, leadership is a process, and that is evolving and reshaping. And leadership starts not where you take up a position where people report to you. No, it starts really early. You remember that task they gave you at school to lead a project or lead a few number of people? That was leadership. Suddenly, it's not you alone achieving the results, but you have to achieve the results along with your team members. You remember, okay, that's for me at least, when I got married, all right? And suddenly I'm not leading my life alone. I have my spouse. We are leading our lives together. Now someone is on board. Children come. When children come, then you are leading a house, a family. So life, actually, all of it is about leadership. It's just the terminology that comes within the HR, rooms and the companies. But life is designed in a way that we actually know leadership early on. Now, when you take the position and responsibility, whether a family or that department, you need to manage certain things. Notice I said things. You need to manage things. When you manage things like finance, like the quality, like customer service, etc., then they call you a manager. That's the hat of a manager. But when you need to achieve the results through someone else, then they call you a leader. It's the same person, but you wear different hats. When you wear different hats, there are different ways of dealing with the cash than dealing with people and their characters, etc. And this is where leadership comes. And it's never perfect and polished immediately. It's a process that keeps polishing.
So absolutely rightly told, Shukri. See, I remember this quote: a leader is the one who knows the way, shows the way, and goes the way. And you said exactly what leadership really looks like. I want to dig go more deeper. And see, leaders are present in almost every organization. Whether you call him a leader or do not call him a leader, leaders are there. But in every organization, there are people who really resist to change towards leadership. How do you manage these kinds of people who really resist change?
That's exactly how my organizational leadership, understanding it, started, actually, because when I got promoted to a department where I'm no longer just a worker, but I need to lead people, I moved from being an operator to being a safety, supervisor. So there I discovered that there are a vast number of people within the organization or visiting the organization. I need to lead them towards safety, meaning they need to behave in a way that protects them from any accident, from getting injured and returning back home safely to their families. And who will resist this concept? Of course, as a concept, it's very clear, but people always have their ways in, cutting corners, being driven to doing things faster, and that means shortcuts, unsafe shortcuts, etc. So they resist this because the path of least resistance, as we said, it's much more sweet to have this piece of sweet now, even, and it's so satisfying, instant gratifying to have that, muffin. I say that because I love muffins anyway.
I don't know that.
But not thinking and on the remote consequences. All of us are like this. When it comes to occupational safety, this is not non-negotiable. You cannot do unsafe acts because we are responsible for your safety, so are you. So, and that resistance taught me a lot. If I learned anything about leadership, it is from safety management or safety leadership, if you want to call it. And the critical part is you are not influencing people who report to you, who need your signature for their sick leaves or their vacation or their salaries. You are not their boss. That makes it harder, Anshaf. You are not my boss, and yet you need to influence people who don't follow you, right? So this is where communication came in the picture. The amplification of communication, content, and delivery was my mission. And in order to influence the person on the other side of the room, and then he will leave for his work and not to commit unsafe acts, it was all about communication, persuasive communication, caring communication, careful communication. And Toastmasters, joining Toastmasters at that period, accidentally, no pun intended, helped me a lot in helping people not get into accidents.
Absolutely. Love that idea from you. See, let's ask more. See, during our parents' time, they did not really have this word passion in their books. They went to work, they worked under their desk, and passion came later. But now in the modern age, when we got a lot of opportunities in our desks lying around here and there, people or the modern generation really want very instant gratification, things very soon. What is the message that you have for all of us?
Well, no one can deny everything good, we want it fast, don't we, right? That's why we have delivery, delivery companies for food. And it is satisfying something in us that the sooner we get the thing, the better. If we want an answer, we go to our gadgets, it gives us sooner. No need to research, no need to study, no need to think, reflect, or have discussions that will grow our minds. So we just click that button and everything is ready. Guess what? You will get what you want. You will get the answers. You will get the food on your table. You will get the delivery, all of that. But something will not grow. Your character, your wisdom, your intellect will not grow. Because the mind, like any muscle in your body, needs challenge. So suppose you don't move your body and you say, okay, I can get what I want without moving there, all right? Give me the remote control. But if you don't move, you will get that channel of TV quickly, all right? Especially these days are FIFA World Cup, so let's behave in the family, right? But if you don't move your body, your muscles will not grow, and the downsides of diseases will come. Although you got your gratified instantly. Likewise, the mind, if you give it the answers quickly, immediately, without you putting any effort, the mind also will grow fading, weak, and it needs challenge. The mind needs challenge, needs difficult questions, wonder and adventure and curiosity. All this is going away because we want quick answers. So yes, use all the gadgets, technology, even AI, to get things faster for you, but in order to help you grow, not for it to outgrow you. if that
Correct.
helps. Yeah.
Absolutely, because see, in a changing world, in a fast-paced world, everyone wants things very instantly. Like you very rightly told, AI, shifting jobs, shifting industries, obsolete job titles, everything is present, and we want things to change very quickly. Like you told, you
Exactly.
have to have that discipline in yourself.
Exactly.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, Shukri, now this is going to be very interesting. I always believe that the real you comes beyond your CV, beyond your resume. I want you to go back to your 20s. Right in your 20s, if there was one person who would like to give you one message to carry back for the rest of your lives, without sugarcoating, what would it be?
That's really interesting. I don't need to imagine. I had so many people talking to me at my 20s, filling my head and my ears with all sorts of scenarios that I should achieve and the scenarios I should avoid. Many people speak to you. I became the summation of all the dialogues, whether they are from closed people or from things I read everywhere or the news I receive about others. So rest assured, like you, like everyone else, we are already filled with all these opinions and forecasts of where should we go, etc., etc. And at the end of the day, we need to listen to ourselves. We need to listen to our deepest voice inside. And it's very difficult. As Steven Spielberg says in one of his commencement speeches, he says, that voice inside of you is whispering to you, but the problem is it is whispering versus all the other voices which are shouting and screaming outside of you. But you need to develop that habit and that skill to being with yourself and listening deeply to that voice which is whispering to you. And that voice really was with me, actually. And I know because of my upbringing and my late father and mother, may their souls rest in peace, they allowed me since very young times to enjoy whatever hobby I would like. So if I wanted to play basketball, which I did, it was okay. If I wanted to read any book, it was okay. If I wanted to buy magazines, lead teams, make, bizarre games at home, I make a mess, and they allowed me. So by the time I reached the 20s, I was leading my life in a way that I know what I love to do. So if there is something that I would say to myself at that time, keep going, keep exploring, keep being adventurous, stay with the wonder. Do not have full agendas for the next 10 years, next 30 years. Of course, you can imagine, you can dream, but don't be restricted to an agenda that will deprive you of beautiful possibilities. And I thank myself back then, I did exactly that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting with you, Anshaf, today.
Absolutely, rightly told. I think it is so insightful. Why? Because in the modern day, when a child is born, her parent will label right from the start, okay, my child is a doctor, my child is going to be an engineer, my child is going to be an accountant, or what not, right? I mean, especially for someone who has been given that freedom to be who you are, that itself is a greatest blessing that life gives you.
Absolutely. Well said, Anshaf.
Thank you. But Shukri, like you told, see, looking back from your 20s up until now, you have achieved a lot in life. You are a speaker, you are a trainer, you are a coach, you are an author, you are a founder, you are a CEO, a lot of titles, right? But in the modern day and age, people resist to start thinking, what if I fail?
Yeah.
My question for you is, what gave you that nerve to really start and keep going?
I wish I remember, Anshaf. I wish I remember, but it's difficult to go back and say to people, this is how I did it, because we didn't know how to do it. all us speakers, authors, or people who are given this privilege to speak to others, to minds and hearts, it's a huge responsibility. This little gadget, it's a huge responsibility. We have the tendency to tell people, this is how I lived my life and this is how you should. None of us actually had a plan, or none of us had a plan that went well, exactly according to plan. Maybe it went better, it went worse. But after a long time, we draw a point from where we started to where we are, and we say, this is how you should go. Says who? It's not for us to tell you, this is the road just because I crossed the road. And it's really unfair and dishonest for us to do. I remember an MIT professor was delivering a success. He had near-death accident, and after 70s, he gave the cream of what he thinks about success. Then he said one line. He said, some entrepreneurs like to do this. They raise their pistol, you're right? They shoot at the wall, and the bullet rests somewhere other than where they wanted it to rest. But it has an impact on the wall. So they bring the marker and draw a circle about it, and then look back to the audience and say, listen, this is what you need to achieve. No matter how sarcastic this is, it is so real. It's not up to us to draw the line for you, young people, and say, this is how you should do it. You find your own path, your own way of doing things, and go achieve them. But you cannot do that if you have an agenda, a fixed, rigid agenda. You cannot do that if you have a name you put, like a doctor or an engineer or an entrepreneur. Read the book of Keep Going, the book Keep Going by Austin Kleon, where he says, keep going. Don't use a noun, use a verb, because the verb is more dynamic. Don't say, I am an author, because that's maximum you will be. Who said you are just an author? You can be way more than this. You can bring names which didn't exist in these years. We keep saying author, entrepreneur, trainer, coach. Who knows? There are more designations. Why should we carry everything in the past and throw it on our generation and tell them, where will this take you? This new passion I didn't see in my time. Where will this take you? We don't know. The world is expanding. Let's expand with it.
Absolutely rightly told, Shukri. I mean, see, the world is too big to dream too small. Like you rightly told. Absolutely. Top notch. See, I have another question for you. If everything that you build, your brand, your product, your network, vanishes in one go, I wish it not happen, but vanishes it in one go, where would you really start with?
Oh, that's really harsh.
I'm sorry.
Because if you build this on a long time, then it's difficult to imagine. But each one of us, I mean, this might be the best question in this podcast, even though I didn't hear the rest. Ask yourself this anytime, really. If everything goes away, then what can you do? The answer is really your worth. Everything else you cannot answer, and you were pretending you can, you eliminate an answer. So I'll give you my answer, but after saying this, a brand, the essence of brand we know is this. It's not something visual. It's not what you do in your LinkedIn profile. It's not the slogan I create, and the logo you design, and the website, and the shots you take everywhere, selfies in every conference. This is not a brand. This is what you say about yourself. This is what you want people to say about you, where they don't have to. A brand, by definition, is what people say about you when you are not in the room. What will people say about you when you're not in the room? The answer is your brand, but actually it's your reputation. And Robert Greene, in his book, The 48 Laws of Power, says strongly, and I agree with him, guard your reputation like you guard your life. Okay. So if it was up to me and everything has vanished the moment I wake up tomorrow and I have nothing left, I would do one thing, and I think this is the first time I'm saying it in any podcast. It is initiating a public speaking school, not academy, not institute, a school that helps. And I know it doesn't exist. It is my long life dream. I always felt that there has to be an answer to all public speaking, presentation, communication, bottlenecks that different people go, all these layers. Through the past 30 years, I've been addressing, helping, but I think if it was up to me, I would open a public speaking school that speaks to all these layers and all these needs and aspirations, even if I have to partner with someone.
That's a great insight. That's a great idea. Maybe I wish I could start that with.
Well, I saw you emceeing in Pathways to Success. You are already hired, by the way.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. See, aligned to that question itself, public speaking. It's more than any day or age. Public speaking is so vital in this day and age where people lead. You need to be you need to be real good, great communicators to lead, right? And I know for a matter of fact, you were a world championship finalist.
Yeah.
Correct. What were your nerves like at that back end of your stage back then?
I can't forget that moment. It was really surprising in a lot of ways that from my first attempt, I was just 1 year into Toastmasters membership, and then from my first attempt, I crossed all the layers, qualification rounds, found myself in the finals. And everybody said, "Oh, you will be the champion. It's too good." I mean, I even myself, I thought that. But I didn't win the championship. The journey, however, was eye-opening. I'm glad I didn't win at that time. I was so young and I had so many assumptions, fantasies. And part of it is what you earlier said. This has to be quick. Let's take this trophy and go home. And let's start the career post-championship. And all those, youth desires of quickly becoming under the limelight and fame, etc. I won't deny that, although I loved every speech that I delivered and delivered it wholeheartedly. But all these things came. Now, after possibly 16 years, 20 years, I think, I attempted the Accredited Speaker, again by Toastmaster. But then I was at that age, I was 50 in 2020, you do the math. And I'm glad I got the Accredited Speaker after hardship, hard work, many rejections. But I'm not who I was that time. I wonder if I got all these accolades and all these medals early on. I wonder if I even would be sitting with you and talking wisdom. I'm glad it came late, really, because the maturity that I have with the accolade. See, they say with power comes responsibility, and I say with title comes a lot of maturity that we need. I'm glad I'm using this parallelly. I'm thankful to God that it was at the right time, divine time. So if there is any sentiment from that moment to this moment, it would be this, Anshaf.
Absolutely. I really loved when you told I did not want to win that championship for myself back then at the World Championship. And you gave me a very insightful answer as in why you did not want to. In a world where everything is about success and you actually denied it for yourself. Absolutely. It shows how lovely as a human you are. And I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. My next question is, see, uh, for a professional who says, I want to be like you, I want to speak like you, I want to lead like you, I want to be someone like you, Mohamed Shukri, what is your first advice?
You cannot be like me. Even if you try hard, you cannot be like me. You can only be like you. Because this is the same thing Mohamed Shukri went through. When I started my championship journey and I was qualified to go to Washington, the finals, I got really obsessed with all the past champions. All of us do this in Toastmasters. We want to get it right. We want to see every, gap to fill, every corner we don't want to ignore. So I used to purchase all the CDs of the past championships. Back then we had CDs, of course. They were not on YouTube. And I got really consumed by those CDs until my coaches noticed. What are you doing? I'm looking at the past championships, the Americans. I need to be like them. I need to speak like them. I need to make humor like them. Then my coach got angry and he confiscated all the CDs from me. And he said, you're being overconsumed and there is no one like you. And he said, you are better than them. I know he was lying, but he has a point. Okay, you have a different voice, you have a different story, you have a different style. Preserve them. And I'm glad that my coaches at that time preserved my own style. So even though I didn't get the title, my style was not contaminated. Still, I'm very glad and happy people visit my speech 20 years later. Yes, this is the 20th year anniversary. Wow. Okay. They visited on YouTube. It has high views. I don't know who uploaded it. I didn't. But still people are touched by it. It's called Talk to Me, by the way, if you insert the number 2.
I've watched it many times, to be very honest.
Oh, and you're not married. Inspired. Are you married?
No, not yet.
It's so romantic. The speech is so romantic.
I know.
But there you go. It's the message that. So I lost the title, but I didn't lose my soul. That's what I say to all speakers. Don't lose your style. Don't lose your substance. Don't lose your soul. If there's anything you want to do like me, is it, or like any champion you know, or any celebrity speaker you know, if there is anything you want to be like them, is this: they didn't copy anyone, so should you not?
Super, absolutely. I mean, you are beautiful as you are. It's just you need to unleash your true potential by identifying the best version in you and taking it out and putting it out to this beautiful world which already exists. Absolutely, rightly told. Shukri, before we close, for anyone who is sitting on the crossroad, or a student who is planning for his first career move, or an entrepreneur who wants to build something big, what is your message that really awakens them?
I'm assuming this question, I'm talking to the students or youth who are 16 plus, all right? Let's say 16 plus, all right? About to graduate from school, go to college, or they are in college, etc. If I ask you one question, the past 16 years you had in life since you were born until today, didn't you learn anything? The answer is, of course I did learn something. Didn't you collect any sort of talent, or let me say skill or hobby? Of course you did. You played. Don't say you didn't play. You made stupid adventures, right? You made initiatives out of the blue. You went to the kitchen and tried to cook a dish. You went online and tried to play with some games and sometimes initiate them. You did so many things, and yet you don't call them learning. I want you to change that mindset and remember, these are learnings. You are listening to someone whose success today 60, if not 70% of my success, I credit to my first 20 non-academic, non-school years.
That's lovely. and
Where
interesting.
I did everything in my mind. I did public speaking, take the microphone, do emceeing like you. I started as an MC like you and Chaf. I did all those sort of things out of love. I didn't stick to one, but each one of them is with me. All the things I volunteered to serve people, community, charity, they are with me. All the risks I took as a young person and the mistakes I did, they are with me. These are the ones that stayed with me, and I'm helping many people. My income actually mostly now comes not from my qualifications, but from everything I did at my young time. Didn't waste my time. If I see books, at that time, I'm glad I was born in the non-digital time, a non-internet time. If I see anything paper with a cover, magazine or book, I will eat it. I cannot resist books. I didn't know I'd become an author one day.
Absolutely.
Please do not underestimate what you are doing. Follow your passion, your love, even if it looks silly now. You will carry it with you. You will discover this on the job interview table. I promise you. You will discover this when you are screened. Work on your socializing, communicating with people, going out everywhere, trying sports, do everything you like. You will be surprised. These things will really serve you in the future. You're doing a great favor to your future self.
Thank you so much, Mohamed Ali Shukri, for your honesty, for your wisdom and the knowledge that you shared, the energy that you lift when you speak to all of us. It is so sublime. Thank you so much once again. And for anyone who's listening to us from your homes, start now, because there is no better time than now to start your journey, to start your career, to start that business you are always looking for. Go for it. As the saying goes on to say, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.
And I want to add something before you end. This is the first podcast I learned from Awakening. And see, we started the podcast. Awakening did not wait to make it perfect, right? They started the Awakening Compass podcast. They didn't wait until it's perfect and it's polished. And there you go. There will be many podcasts with many, inspiring people, but we did start, right? And Awakening, I like the spirit of Awakening rather than just only the structural, legal and business format of it, which is very successful already as a training academy. But the way that it creates a space, this is my motto in life. You create a space for people to grow. You don't force people to grow. You can bring the horse to the water, but you cannot force him to drink. So Awakening, I noticed and felt with all its leadership down to every member and team player, they open the space for whoever inside this space to grow the way they can and the way they want. And actually, I like the word awakening, because we education and in training and teaching, we don't teach, we awaken something in people's minds and hearts. Sorry for interrupting you. You know what? I'm not sorry. I hope this goes also on broadcast.
Thank you so much. You were never an interruption for all of us. It is our greatest pleasure hosting you, sharing the mic with you for the very first time at the Awakening Compass.
Yeah.
And we cannot be more happier than having a very special guest, someone who is really great and close to our hearts.
You know what? And Shaf, let's cut the ribbon for Awakening Compass.
Thank you so much.
Here's to Awakening Compass.
See you soon in the next episode of the Awakening Compass. Until then, stay happy, stay safe, and take care of yourselves. Thank you.